Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. So once again, please, can you put in the chat where you are located, your country, please, so that we can break the ice. Please put in the chat where you are attending and the name of your CSO, and you can just write a short word about maybe your goal for the immunization or what's your vision for the kids, please. Feel free to add it, please. So we see Dr. Ahmed from the office district. We see also Alexandra. Please put it in the chat, please. Zahor Ahmed, project manager for Balochistan. Great. I have the story from you shared by Uma. Thank you very much for this great job. We have Hasid Sayed, Pakistan, also great participant from Pakistan. Yes, thank you very much. Ethiopia, we are working on the story with you. Thank you very much, Tariq. We have Abdul Samad again from Pakistan. Thank you very much. Please feel free to continue putting from where you are attending it's not a training session, please. So feel very free to interact with us. It's not a training session. Is a discussion that we can. So happy to see you, Mohammed from Pakistan. Many attending from Pakistan. Saha Ali also, Ikram from Ujra, and we have also Mahmoud Umar Zaye from Pakistan. Thank you very much. So great. So let's deep dive. So imagine something that I know we already made the introduction. So I will deep dive in the subject. So imagine that you are a social entrepreneur and you need to show your result or your impact in a big fair somewhere in a country.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think we might have lost Olivier. What I will do is I will take over and cover what Olivier was going to talk about in today's session. I will share my screen. And hopefully if we get Olivier back, then he'll be able to take over from me. I hope you can see my screen okay.
Yes, madam. It's visible now.
Fantastic.
Yes, it is visible, yes.
Wonderful. Sorry, everyone, for this. I do hope that we'll get Olivier back because he had a wonderful presentation for you. So firstly, we want to help orientate everyone to understand where the communications guidance is on the Gavi website. We could see from the poll that some of you know where it is, but some people it's going to be new to you. So if you are a new grantee or you just haven't accessed this information before, we want to make sure that you understand where you can find it. There is a lot of guidance and we're going to do a run through of what you can find. So you will recognize this homepage here. This is the Gavi website. Now, hopefully this will take me to the Gavi website. Yes. So if you go from the homepage, you click on Our Work. Then you go to We Fund Civil Society. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you will see on the left here, it says Grantee Guidance. Can everyone see the screens changing on my computer okay? And then if you click on Grantee Guidance, you will see that we have a whole section called Communications Guidance. Now, I hope that you can see that in front of you. Can you just give me a thumbs up if the screen has been changing okay? Sophia, have we been going through the website okay?
Yes, all good.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So rather than click on all of these individually, they are quite, they're some big PDFs and Word documents. So you can download them and access them offline. I'm not going to click on all of them now because they will be sort of multiple pages of information. But what instead I would like to do is just take you through a bit of an overview of what each section will cover. So I'm going to go back to the presentation. So in the library, we have something called Guidance and Consent for Stories, Photos and Videos. This short guide will provide practical tools and principles for you on how to capture and share stories, photographs and videos ethically and respectfully. This is super, super important. When you're telling stories about projects, it's very important to always remember that the story should be empowering and respectful of the communities and the people that you are representing. This document also includes the consent form that you'll need for photographs. It's very self-explanatory. It is within the document itself, so you can use that form when you are taking photographs to ensure that you have full informed consent from the people within the photographs and videos. We also have something called communications guidance. This will show you how to integrate communications activities into the fabric of your project and your organization's outputs. So how to integrate communications practices by getting it completely as part of your everyday processes. It'll make communications more impactful and also easier. We also have another document called CSO Branding Requirements and Exemptions Guidance. This is all about how to use the Gavi logo in your work. It talks about co-branding, size of logos, how to put your logo alongside the Gavi logo, the way to reference the Gavi CSO funding mechanism. So it gives really clear steps on how to integrate the branding with your own. Then we also have a CSO branding statement template, which is a consent form template and how to use it. Oh, sorry. Then next slide, the one that we're going to go into in a bit more detail. It's actually the third document that appears on the list on the website that we shared. It's about stories of change. Now, this is a really, really important part of CSO communications. In this document, we give guidance on how to develop and share your positive stories of progress, impact and change. It covers the importance of storytelling. So why do we need to tell stories? How to share your stories with us. It covers consent, being true and honest in your communications. It also covers a tailored redaction plan with each step to follow, and also about how we are fully here to support everything. So please get in touch with us. Olivier and I will get back to you as soon as we can to support you with stories. We are very, Olivier in particular is very hands-on with the stories with CSOs. He works on developing the stories and strengthening the information within stories with the CSOs. So you will all hopefully have a lot of communication with Olivier in the future, if you haven't already. So that was a quick run through. Does anyone have any questions about how to find the guidance online? There are some multiple pages of guidance, so we didn't want to cover too much of what you'll find in there. It's best to have a look at the documents and have a read through. If you have any questions after reading them, then please get in touch with us. But do you have any questions about how to access the information and where to find it?
Can you please show the website where the information is?
Yes, of course. I will go back. So I hope that you should be able to see the Gavi homepage now in front of you. So you click on Our Work right at the top on the top level navigation, and then you go to We Fund Civil Society. Click on that. And then if you scroll down, there's a huge amount of information for CSOs who are funded under the Gavi CSO funding mechanism. And you will see on the left-hand side, we have grantee guidance. And then within grantee guidance, this is the section on communications guidance. So I quickly just covered what these 5 documents contain, the information that they cover. So each one of these links is a Word document or a PDF that you can click on and you'll download it so that you can access it offline. Some are quite long, sort of more 27 pages, I think, and some are much shorter at about 6 pages. And they are available in French and English. So if you want the French version, you click here and it will take you to the French version of the page and the resources.
Yeah, madam, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any other questions about where to find the guidance, or shall we move on to the next topic? Okay, thank you everyone. So impact stories. This is something that Olivier and I have been working on together over the last couple of weeks since I took on Gavi. It is a really, really wonderful part of our jobs because we get to read brilliant stories and fabulous statistics, see great photos from your projects, and it really brings to life the work that the funding mechanism is supporting. So we love receiving your stories. So this is a huge call out to you all, please, to say, please send us your stories. And in the next couple of slides, I'm just going to give you an overview of what the type of information that we like to see, the do's and don'ts of storytelling about your project. So we love stories that have a human connection. It is really important to feel the people behind the story. So that might be the community health workers and the people within the community, the family who is affected, the child. It's really, we want stories that make people feel, that people can relate to and understand. They don't need to be full of super technical information. We like to have an understanding of what your project is doing, but these are stories that are supposed to be relatable and convey the important work that you are all doing. So we've got a few headers here. Stories are good for trust building. So authentic stories from communities will establish credibility and deepen relationships between stakeholders. Stories should go beyond numbers. So statistics are brilliant. They are really helpful and they add grounding to a story. But the human element of stories can inspire action, make people feel, they create an emotional resonance, and they stay with you for longer, more than a statistic will. Stories are very important for influencing policy. So as Olivier says here, well-crafted narratives can shift decision-maker perspectives and drive systemic change. So they really are an important part of your communications and wider project. To be able to communicate what you are doing and why and how is extremely important for wider policy influence and advocacy. And then legitimacy proof. Your stories will demonstrate the real impact in reaching zero-dose children and underserved populations. So we have a little bit of a structure template here. We will share this recording with you after this call, and we can also share the slides if that's helpful. This is a bit of a breakdown because if you are, you might be a super experienced writer, or it might be quite new to you. You might have communication staff, or if you don't, this can be a really helpful way of having, of making sure that you are meeting all of the points that we need for a story. So We will work with you on the content, so things don't need to come to us completely perfectly. But if you can try and supply quite a lot of what you see in front of you now, then that just really, really helps the possibility of getting your story out there into the public. So we like to have a sort of impactful, attention-grabbing title. It should potentially include where you are working, maybe the main theme of the story. It's quite often to have the word immunization or vaccination either within the title or the subtitle. It makes sure that people know what they're about to click on and what they're about to read. You want to grab people's attention. So then we have a subtitle or an introductory paragraph. This is a bit of a catchy stand first, where it can be probably no more than 3 sentences, ideally less, where it says a little bit more than the title does, and it makes people think, I'm intrigued to read more of this story. So then we need photos and captions. When you send us a story or write your own story, do think about maybe supplying perhaps between 3 and 5 photographs for us to choose from. And the sort of brighter, bolder, clearer, the better. It's much better to have a picture that's actually from the project and the work that you're doing, rather than a group of people sat together after a meeting. Something that will really pique people's interest and make them think, I want to click on this story, I want to keep reading. So then the things that we need to make sure you cover within the story are geography and context. Make sure you say where the story is set. So that might be a district, that might be a small area. It's really important to give people the contextual grounding, the geographical understanding of where they are and what they're reading about. If you can tell us what life is like where this project is, that also helps to set the scene and is a really valuable part of the storytelling. Please tell us about the problem. So what was the problem like before your project was there in the community or in the region? What was the problem? How does it affect the community? And what are the community or families trying to overcome? So a bit of scene setting, because then what we want to do is take the reader on a journey through this story and they can see an outcome at the end that was different to where it started. I mentioned not having too much technical information, but we do need to understand how your CSO works. What do you do? What do you offer to communities and to families? How does the project work? Who are you working with? Are you working with any sub-grantees? Are you working with local health authorities? If you start to introduce all the different people who are involved and the impact that they have and what they're doing, that's really, really helpful and answers the questions that we would then come back to you later with. It's wonderful to have testimonies. It's great to have people's personal opinions of how they felt before the project, maybe how they felt before the advocacy, and how they feel now. But what we need to have is, if you give us a quote, it's always good to have the person's name and maybe where they were. Then data. I mentioned that we need more than data for a story, but having data within a story is really excellent, because you get people's emotions and thoughts going by telling the story. But if you actually can share the impact, so how many children were reached, how many zero-dose children you were able to contact or establish, how many vaccinations you were able to give after the work that you were doing, it helps to give a bit more impact to the story. So this was the problem, this is the work that we did, and this was the outcome. Again, just like the testimonies, we have said perspectives and advice. If we can have an idea of the long-term impact or the lessons learned, again, some more quotes, then that's a really great way to end the story. It ends on a point of hope, and people will understand how your project is going to have a lasting impact. And then finally, it's very important for us to know who wrote the story. We always give a byline, and it's great to have your name against a story. So that was quite a lot. I'll come to some questions in a moment. We want to put into context everything that I've just talked through just now. We are very, very proud of this story that you can see in front of us. We work with the communications team at Gavi to get your CSO stories published on the Vaccines Work website. This website has a huge reach. I'm afraid I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that they're big. And it's an amazing opportunity to get to reach a really big audience with your project and explain about the work that you do. So this is the first story that Olivier and I had published on the Vaccines Work website just a couple of weeks ago. And it is from AVS Mali. And I just want to take you through the story itself. So it is called Following Nomadic Paths on the Road to Hope in Mali. So like I mentioned just now, what we need in a story, it's great to have the idea of where you are. And this is quite a catchy, intriguing title. Then we have the stand first here, or the subtitle. We will go where the children are, reaching thousands of children with vaccines using camels, innovation and culturally appropriate solutions. It tells the reader a little bit more, but not so much that they don't want to carry on reading. So I'm going to click on this, and this should take us to the story itself on the Vaccines Work website. Sophia, if you can just give me a thumbs up and let me know whether that's worked okay. Fantastic, thank you. So like I said, we have a byline here. So we want to make sure that the people who wrote the story get the credit. And we have a lovely picture that is actually within the context of the project itself. And we have a caption for the credit. So when people look at the photo, they know exactly what's happening. The copy itself, the story, is broken down into fairly small paragraphs. We have subtitles to break it up and set the scene for each section. As you can see, the quotes are picked out and they're put in bold, and they are credited properly here. So we know exactly who says that quote. We include links to, in this case, health surveys. We will also put a link to your organization's website. So again, it's a really excellent opportunity for publicity for your organization and your project. We have another lovely strong image here, which is super engaging and has a caption here. Another subheader. Again, like I said, Olivier and I will work on these details with you, but the more that you can give us this information when we start the story, the better the chances that the story will get published. So we have another quote here. We explain the organization, AVS. We link to their website. We do a bit of a translation about the name of the project. And include other quotes, and there's a context explanation here. So there's a lack of passable roads. We've given a lot of information to the reader about what life is like in this area and why there's a problem and the impact that AVS Mali had on the community. So that's just that was our first story that got published. So we are very proud of it. And I will take you back to the presentation now. So just a couple of highlights of what makes a strong story, because I know that I've covered a lot of ground here. And if you look at one slide when you're putting a story together, this is quite a useful one. So what makes a strong story? Strong photographs with clear, positive and empowering images that tell a story. A human connection and impact. We want stories that make people feel and think, include aspects of innovation that your project does. What's original? What's different about this story? Then we would love quotes and perspectives. So a strong quote can make a story. As you could see on the AVS Mali story that I just showed you, we actually included the strong quote within the stand first, within the subheader. So it really can make people feel. When you have a quote, please let us know who's being quoted and full names where possible, please. So Gavi said specifically to us the other day that they prefer not to have Mrs. or Mr. and then the surname. They would like the full name. And then finally, apologies, I've just seen that the numbers are all in the wrong order. If we can have powerful data and statistics, but numbers that people can really understand. So how many children were vaccinated thanks to the project? Over what time period this happened? Really straightforward information that anyone coming across this story can understand. So I've covered a lot of ground in that section, and this is another short break for you to ask any questions that you have specifically about impact stories.
Ma'am, Mohammed Ahmed, I have a question. We
Yes, please.
earlier March, I think. March. How can we share it?
Can you share the stories?
Yeah. We done with a mop-up activity. We vaccinated 65 children with MR vaccine.
Oh, fantastic. What I can do is after this webinar, when I share the recording, I can share some really clear instructions with Olivier's email and our communications email, and we can explain the process that you go through. So Olivier generally works with the CSOs as the first step to generate the stories, and then together we take it to Gavi. There's a few rounds of feedback. But Olivier is your best contact for us. I'm afraid I can't see properly. Do we have Olivier back on the call yet? Because he'll be able to share how he prefers to work on the stories with you.
Yes, thank you.
Sophia, do we have Olivier back?
Yes, I believe he's in.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, I'm back. Sorry for the
Not
cards.
at all. Wonderful. Olivier, would you like to take over?
Thank you very much. It was so great, but please let apologize for this cut. I get a internet all the region cut off, so apologize for that. So any question about this, please feel free to ask. As we say at the beginning, it's not a training, it's the discussion between a same team. You and I are forming a same team to show the impact of what you are doing under this project funded by Gavi. So please feel free to share your question, please.
Olivier, we are from OCSD, Pakistan. We want to share a story with you people. How can we contact you in this regard?
Yeah, so I will just drop in the text box my email so that you can use it to share any story that you have, and we'll be very happy to work on it with you.
Thank you, sir.
Another question? Another question? Please feel free to ask your question, please. Okay, if there is no question, I think what Ali made was so great, and I was sharing a story with you because we are all talking about stories. So I will not come back again on this, but I will just say that the story, the impact story, is the product, the final product that we all want to sell. I say sell, but it's not like we are selling, but we want to sell it. It's in the market, and this market is the immunization environment and ecosystem. So please see it like this. We work together to build the product, and we share it on vaccine work with the place of market where the visitor, the browser come to see it. So let's move now to the next slide, please. So we will also want to give you some small tips. We all know that you are professional, but please highlight uh, these tips when you are shooting photo. For example, if you see this photo have been done in Pakistan, and if we don't give any description or caption when you see this photo made by the CSO reads, you feel something with the height of the baby, how is fixing you, and even the connection between the mother and the children as the way that she's looking the children. You see, so for the picture, you need to capture emotion. You need to capture something that your picture shows something, even you don't explain it. Your picture need to show something. So consent first, because you need to have the credit, and also show positivity with dignity, focus on meaningful action, as I was saying, as you see here. Yes, the presentation will be shared for you for reference. Don't So we will do it. And also, please don't show image with baby crying where they are getting the needle in the skin and also into arms. And also gender balance. If you are, for example, doing an activity somewhere where you have, for example, a lot of gender is not only about women and men, it's most about inequality. So if you see, for example, that you have a lot of men in the picture and only one woman, so don't put this woman at the left, at the extreme left or at the extreme right. Put it somewhere where you value her. You can put it in the front. Don't use picture where you have women in the back and also only men in the front. So please do try to balance between this gender issue, and also still be respectful on the area where you are going to shoot and how you will see people there. Next. And here is a small tool that we will share. We already share it with the CSO to help us get the capture of all the picture, because we know that we have sometimes internet issue that I get this morning. So when you are sharing picture, for example, on WhatsApp, it's good because it's fast and quite easy, but we need to have the caption of it of all the pictures. So you can use, we will share this with you. You can use this template. Just put a small picture of a picture in this file, and write the caption. So for the caption is the very easy question: who is doing what, where, and when? For each caption, you need to give answer to this free question: who is doing what, when, and where? So we will share, as I say, this with you. And we hope also that if you already have some picture, you can just package them and share it with you, because we submit regularly picture with Gavi. Why we do it? Because at any time that we are building an article, we can just refer to this library. If Gavi asks, for example, do you have picture of kids of outreach campaign in Pakistan or in Liberia or anywhere, we can just go through this library and give it to them, and we will not overwhelm you and saying that, please, can you bring picture? We anticipate because we already have a library, a rich library with all the relevant information. Next. So this is my last advice for you. We know you all are professional working with some are working with communication specialists in the project, in the team, but I just want to highlight these four advice. First, when you are on a scene and you want to shoot something, before to click on the photograph knob on your device. It could be a professional photograph or a smartphone. Before to click on shoot, in your mind, you already click on shoot. because you see something that you want to capture. It's not that you are capturing anything that you see. You decide to capture a specific thing, and when you get it, you click on short. If you see these children, as the way that he put his hand on his arm, if his hand was not there, the photography will not be the same. And if he didn't smile, the photography will not be the same. And if it was not putting in the center of the picture, as is it like this, the photography will not be the same. I'm not saying that this is so perfect, but this is good. This is very nice to see. And the subject is close to the focus on your device. And as you see it, those who are in the back are a little blur, but this is a setting on the camera. You are not mandatory to do the same. But please, when you are taking a photo, try to see what is your environment, who is inside, who I want to put in the spotlight, what is in the background, how I can arrange all this, and ask yourself to arrange the scene. And also about light is very important. Sometimes if you are doing an activity outside, please try to work with the sun. The sun is your close partner to light your picture. So try to have all the time the sun in your back. Why? Because if you have the sun in front of you, you will see that when you take the picture, is a bit dark because the sun is in front of you. You will not see it in your eye, but when you capture the picture and you look on your camera, you will see that the picture is dark. So have the sun in your back is your best advice. And also, as I say, arrange the scene when you want to capture, and you are free to have like a close shoot or large shoot. What is relevant here is what idea or what message you want to share in this picture. So this is the short advice that I would like to share with you. As I say, it's not a training session, it's the coaching session, and we stay available for each step of development of the product, coming from your side to the final side, who is the Gavi vaccine work website, where we advertise your great work about access to vaccine for this community. Any question, please? Feel free. We have 10 minutes.
Olivier, I have a
Yes.
question in you in the chat box.
Chat, yes. Certain way we have success through but community. Yeah, I do understand. This is a quite tricky situation. Even when I was working in some project, we see that family don't want to, they don't want to be captured. For example, if you go in a community, as I would take the example of the Balochistan, where you have some children who are in a remote and very difficult area to access by road because they don't have any way of transportation, and the family don't want to be captured. But you can have a picture of the village. You see, you can have a picture of the area, like showing some house with the mountain. This can be also illustrated. It's not mandatory to have any time picture facing or face of people on the picture. You can illustrate with something related to the location, to the environment, or if, for example, you transport the vaccine on your car to move there, you can have a picture of your worker or your colleague who is transporting the vaccine or the ice boxes in the car, because this is a part of the mission that you are doing. You can have also this picture to illustrate your article. So we have also another question. Please, does this response match with your expectation? Ahmed?
Yes, thank you. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Ahmed. Thank you, Ahmed. And what ethical approach should we follow when documenting beneficiary success in case where individual prefer to keep the identity? Thank you very much for that photograph. In such situation, and can we ensure proper verification? So I will use a example that we So I didn't mention it. I'm a journalist based in Cote d'Ivoire. So I've been working in radio, TV, and also printing press. So most of the time we do some inquiry article about topic where people don't want to tell their identity. So for that, um, maybe in this situation with Gavi, we can come back with you with clear information. But what we can do is that if the informant don't want to give his name, we can say that this informant is called, for example, Abdul Rahim. This is a given name that we give it to him because he don't want his identity to be shown. We can use this one. We can also use a vague wording like an informant who would like to keep his as an anonymous informant. We can do that. What is important, the better situation is that we have name of people. So, but for example, when you have an article where it's written Olivier Conan, if you don't know me, you will just read Olivier Conan, but this will not give you like any more information because it's just Olivier Conan, you see. But uh, as I say, the better situation is that we get the name. But if we don't have a name, you can just use this also alternative approach. The important is the message. What is the message that this informant or these people that we are sharing the testimony is seeing, and how this is relevant for the whole story? This is the main important. So the mean is good, the content is good, but sometimes we can be flexible to see how we can have alternative approach. Do we necessarily need to get a written consent for shooting? No, we don't have the written consent. We can have a verbal consent, but we need to be sure that you have this record somewhere in case that we don't know. Sometimes issue can come about pictures, and to avoid this, if we don't have a written consent, it's better to have a verbal consent so that we are all sure that what we are using is with the agreement of the informant of the subject that we have shoot in picture in photography. Yeah. Another question, please. As I say, feel free. And this is just a first series of webinar. We will do more and more again. And also after that, I and Ali, we are still available to continue supporting with you. We are working in the same factory to build something from the ground to the website where we put it together. So we are all working on the same chain of value. Let me put my email here in this so that I don't forget it. Please, another question. We have
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, please.
I have a question about one thing I want to clear. As you know, we all know that we are going to try for storytelling. We are going to try to have a good ending at any time. So
Yeah.
the thing is that why? What is the difference between the success story and is they are also the part of story and case study? One thing, and second, so as you know, I want to say that we are going to try to have a good ending, is that
Mm-hmm.
maybe in case of benefits, in a case of information, in a case of we are going to convey them, we are going to say that we have convinced them, right now they are on our platform. So the first thing, and the second, the for the storytelling, for story, we are going to have a good title. So the title we are going to find is like that it should tell by themselves that about what story is, and the ending should be in the title. So can we have a bad ending or not, even though ending may not be the part of the story?
So I will start and give also the floor to Ali to support. What I would like to say is that as you see, when Ali was presenting, we didn't wrote anything in the template where we share. We just highlighted parts. Like here is you can talk about the context. Here you can talk about the testimony. Here you can talk about the result. You see, so there is not a mandatory structure to present a success story or to present a case study. You are free to hand but what you feel very relevant from your side to brought your idea and to brought what you want to share. So the difference between success stories and case study, from my understanding, a case study is talking about like a specific situation happening in the cycle of the project and how we overcome this situation. It can be a success or it can still be a open failure. What I call open failure is that we couldn't resolve the situation, but this is the process how we made to limit the damage of this situation. So we write a case study to explain step by step how we make it. But for example, a success story, that means that we win. We talk about success, so we win. You see, so what we were facing, even if that it was a challenge or a situation in the life of the project or an approach that we didn't accept this result. For example, we decided to make a outreach campaign involving children. For example, we know that children, they don't have any knowledge about vaccine, but we decide to use them as engagement mobilizer. And we realize that the children, even that they didn't have the best words to talk about vaccine, but they convince easily their parents to have attention on this. And we get a very high rate of mobilization using this approach. This is a success story. You see, this is a success story. There was not a problem. So we were facing a situation where we would like to improve our way of working to have more impact. And we used it and we see that this was a very good idea. So we will write a success story about it, how we made it, how the idea came, what was first of all, the situation that we want to overcome. Sometimes it's not a great problem or a big difficulty or a big challenge, but we want to improve our way of service delivery. So we test different approach and we realize that we have a success on this, and we can say that okay, we can write a success story on it. You can hand off what you feel for you as the best thing. You are not mandatory to end your story with the perspective at the same way as in the title. No, it is people like emotion. They want to feel what you felt, you see. So feel free to share your story. So Ali, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Olivier. I'm so sorry to cut you off, and Abdul, thank you very much for your great questions. If we haven't managed to, Olivier, your answer was fantastic. Abdul, if you have any other questions that you want to know more about, please reach out to us directly. But I'm afraid we are 1 minute from having to end this webinar, and we actually have a very quick poll to do with you that's related to the poll that we did right at the start. Hopefully it's just to cover what you've learnt in this session, and it helps us to design stronger sessions for you in the future. Thank you so much to Olivier for so much wonderful information, beautifully presented. And thank you for your questions, everyone. It was really great to meet you, and look forward to working with you in the future. So thank you, Olivier.